Hey guys, so here's a quick unboxing of a supposedly super bright outdoor security LED light, and this is the Halo brand, and I think it's made by a company called Eaton. This is the model number FSL503TIB bronze colored outdoor security LED light. And so the feature of this security light includes 3 adjustable colors, so you can change from soft white to a bright white color to a daylight color, which is super cool. And the lumen reading is super bright. It's 5800 lumens, and which is equivalent to a 500-watt incandescent light, which is really bright. On the other side of the box, of course, it's giving you some specs. So the adjustable color with 3 different color temperatures from 3000K, 4000K to 5000K. Adjustable with a little switch on the light on the actual light. And over here is the product specification. So you have the lumen rating, you have the actual watts of the light, which is 51 watts, and the lumens per watt, the efficacy is 100. It's about 112 lumens per watt. And color accuracy, the color rendition index, which is 82.8, pretty decent. And the light color, of course, this is probably like 3 light colors combined, which gives a result of 4000 Kelvin. And so some of the features of the LED light includes a support hook for when you have the light attached to the ceiling, and you have the hook for the light, so you can have 2 hands working on the wires when you're installing the light. Also have push connectors, which supposedly is a little bit easier to use than those twist connectors, but I personally find the twist connector is actually pretty easy to use, so we'll have to see about that when I actually gonna try to replace one of our outdoor light with this security light. So it also have pre-attached screws and a adapter plate, so I think for various type of the wall mounting situations. So I'm gonna open up the box and just take a quick look and see what's inside the box, and then we actually gonna later on go out and install the light. But right now it's pretty dark outside, so I'm gonna do that tonight. I'm gonna update the video in a little bit. So I bought this in Home Depot. So if you found this review, you're probably at Home Depot looking at the same light. So hopefully at the end of this review, I'll give you guys a conclusion on whether it's worth the money or not, because it's actually fairly expensive. It's a $100 light. With tax, it's more than $100. So if you get a regular incandescent light, it's usually around $20-30. You can get like a very affordable incandescent light. But if you want to go LED and you want to save money on long run, you should get this light. Again, of course, I haven't tested the brightness, so I'm gonna at the end give you guys a final conclusion. So right outside of the box, it's actually a very simple packaging. So here you have the light itself, and inside the box you have a, I think, quick startup like guide in a couple of different languages, and there's a mounting plate in here to fit different kinds of the walls or the ceilings. It's all over here. So I just took everything out of the box and laid out all the parts that came with the light. I didn't notice that it actually came with a 5-year limited warranty. So anything happens within 5 years to the light, you can go to Eaton and tell them the light broke, and you can get probably a repair or replacement. And so quickly, there's installation manual, which is basically a 1-page manual. I went through it, super easy to install. And here are some parts. So you got 2 different kinds of sizes of the screws, and you get the little hook for hooking the light on the conduit for easy install. you have some gaskets right over here, and you have a regular mounting plate, which is this one. So this probably applies to most of the people. You just need to use this plate. They also included a recessed mounting plate. So I think from what the instruction says, if your conduit looks like anything in figure 4, you need the recessed plate. Otherwise, you use the regular plate. And really, I haven't encountered, like for me, I'm not going to use this, so I don't know what is going on with this plate. But you have the option for recessed plate if you have such situation requires that. And there are little 2 caps to close the mounting screw once you have the light installed. Now here's the actual light itself. This is the back end. Basically, this is the I guess the box that hosts the LED light, the heatsink, and all the circuitry for it. That's why there are a whole bunch of lights going into this little light box. And your major wires, the power wires, are right over here. This is a little junction box that they included. So it looks to be super easy. Basically, you just push your other end of the wire into this little junction box, and then you're good to go. Same thing with this wire, the ground and the ground and the other wire. I don't know how to call the other wire, but the black and white, and also the ground wire. So those 2 plus the ground wire is all you need to have the light working. And on the bottom, a whole bunch of wire you can see going through. This is the light sensor. So basically, this light turns on automatically when it senses it's too dark outside. And it turns itself off when it's daytime. So if you want to have the light always on, you basically just leave it on a switch that's always on. And if you, for any time, you want to just keep it off and use it as a regular light, you can do that. Basically, you just switch turn the switch off and the light would go off. This is not your traditional security light where it's motion sensor or motion activated. This is actually a brightness activated light sensor. That's why when you buy it on the box, it actually says dusk to dawn. So basically it turns on at night and then turns off in the daytime. That's what it is. So we're gonna take a look at the front. The place you adjust the different light temperatures is right over here. Right now it's defaulting to 4K, and you have of course the option for 3K, which is like kind of yellowish light, and 5K for a whitish light. Over here is your angle adjustment. So you can adjust it. You can adjust the tilt angle, the up and down tilt, by just losing this little knob. And then you can basically just turn this, I can't do it with one hand. You can just turn this little head a little bit, and then the junction area from here would actually turn. So that's how you turn the light and adjust the angles. But it's very easy and intuitive. And also the entire box is made of metal. It feels like aluminum. I think it's aluminum, yeah. So the front part is aluminum, the back part is aluminum, even the connectors are metal. So it's really well made. Maybe that's why it costs $99. And the front protective area is plexiglass, or it could be just, plastic, mounted, secured by 6 looks like stainless steel screws. And also this light is rated for damp areas. So if you, like me, living in kind of like a subtropical weather where it's always humid outside, you can use this light no problem, as the instruction said. Look at the light chip itself. You can see this one is made up with a whole bunch of small LED lights. I would assume the orange one is actually the 3K LED lights, and the kind of light yellow one is the 5K light. So what happens is, if you turn this switch into the middle, all the light is going to come up. And if you turn switch to 3K, only the orange light is going to come up. And if you turn to 5K, the yellow light turns up. So if you want the brightest setting, you have to leave the setting, the light output at 4K, which is in the middle of the switch over here. Any other settings, you're gonna probably lose half of the brightness. or you could be saying you're saving half of the energy by only have half of the light output of this light. So basically, you get best of both worlds. If you want to save money, or if you like a certain color of the lights, it's not going to be as bright, but then it's not going to use as much of the energy because it's running at half the brightness. If you want full output, you get a kind of bright white light for your area. And so after installation tomorrow, I'm actually not gonna videotape the installation because it's fairly straightforward. You just basically plug those wires in and mount this basically 2 screws. You mount it onto your conduit, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing tricky about it. But one thing I want to make sure to mention is make sure to put the gasket, included gasket, onto the light, onto the actual mounting plate when you're actually installing the light. And also, they suggest you to always just buy your own silicone gels and just fill the edge of the light. Once you finish the installation, just fill the edge and make sure you seal the entire area so it's watertight. So if it's at a damp area, if it's raining outside, your light wouldn't get damaged, your internal components wouldn't get rusty for water intrusion. So make sure you use the recommended silicone gels that you can also get from Home Depot, and it's very cheap. It's less than $10. And this tube I actually used for another light installation, so it's still working great today after I think 1 or 2 years. But make sure you do use those for installation. After installation, I'm going to show you guys how bright the light is when it's turned on, and again give you guys the final conclusion on what I think about the light and whether you should get it or not. So it's daytime now, so I'm trying to, as you can see, remove the old wall-mounted accent light and replace it with the super bright halo light. So I already removed the screw covers basically, and I turned the power off, of course. So I just need to figure out a way to wriggle this thing off, because it looks like it's pretty rusted and glued to the wall. And the next step is actually put the new light in. So want to show you guys this first before I start installation. And here is with the lights off. Basically it's just 2 very simple screws mounted over here. So I just pried it off and now it's off. As you can see, very similar 3 wires. So basically I'm just gonna unscrew all the wires and connect my new light and mount my new light onto this conduit unit. Okay. So I removed the light, and before the installation, it's very important that you prep the workspace at the wall, because later on you're going to be applying a silicone sealant. And for this to work, the wall needs to be really clean. So I'm just gonna use my alcohol, dab a little alcohol on the paper towel, and then just wipe the wall carefully. And once it's cleaned, I'm gonna go ahead and put all the mounting bracket and the light back onto the wall. Okay. And since my mounting point is not recessed, I am not going to be using this recessed mounting bracket, so this can be put away or throw away. And the only thing we're going to be using is just this standard mounting bracket. So basically just line this up and get all the holes over to the center. It's not a standard mount, so I have to actually remove this whole bracket because this came with the old light. So once I get the old bracket removed, I'm gonna put the new bracket in there. So this one have to go. Here's one off. Probably just gonna skip this video. Okay, there we go. So now with that old bracket removed, it's super simple. Basically, just line up one of those holes in there, and just get it installed as close to straight up as possible, and then we can finish the light installation. So I put this a little ring kind of the the seal onto the conduit, and next I'm gonna mount the bracket. So I find out that I can just line up the one of the hole over here and one of the hole somewhere over there to get it up to straight, and that should actually do the trick. So it's gonna be offset a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna be matter that much because I'm gonna be sealing this whole area, so it should work. And so let's get started. As you can see, I finished installing the bracket. Actually pretty easy. It doesn't require me to modify anything. I just used two existing holes on the plate, and the last step is just connecting those wires and put the light back on there and then turn the power on to test. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So it's really thoughtful that they give you a little hook so you can just hook your light somewhere there and then start working on the wires, which I thought is a really nice touch. A lot of lights doesn't come with a hook, and it's really hard to do it especially when the light is on the ceiling. Okay, so that's something really nice that they have included. All right, so now with all the wires connected, so make sure you connect the white to the white and the black to the other colored wire on your wall. So always white to white. And the ground wire is over here. I actually hooked up to the ground connector, the green little bolt over here. And next step is I'm going to remove the hook, and I'm going to situate the light to the bracket and just mount the screwing those two screws over here. So, and then the installation is complete. Really simple. Okay, so see you in a little bit. All right, now it's about 30 minutes to sunset, so it's getting dark outside, and I have the light set up and ready to go. So I'm gonna ask my wife to turn on the light and see how bright it is. 30 minutes to sunset. All right, so here's the light turn on, and as you can see, it actually illuminated the area very nicely compared to our old 800 lumen light, and this is actually 5,000 lumens. It's like super bright. Even before sunset, it's illuminating the area really nicely. So as you can see, it goes as far probably to the shed. Like you can see there are lights, the shadows on the shed, so it's actually lighting up pretty far away. The only reason I need this light is just to light my little backyard area, and it's doing the job just fine. And the spread pattern is pretty wide as well, so it goes from the floor all the way to the bottom of the roof and to the ceiling. So it's really nice. And so I would say this is definitely a light to keep. And keep in mind, right now it's with all the LEDs on, so it's at the maximum brightness. So I'm gonna actually test in a little bit again when it gets fully dark outside and see how bright it is. Okay, so this is after dark. Outside is totally dark, just some cats hanging around, and I am gonna turn on the light and see how bright it can illuminate this thing again. So here we go. And here it is, super bright. Makes it feel like daylight. So really good for taking cat pictures if you have cats in your backyard. Right here. So as you can see, it illuminates really far away, really far away. And so I would say like works excellent. So definitely a great buy for $100. I would say it's money well spent because the LED light is gonna last for quite a long time. So that was the full brightness with both yellow and white light. Now I'm gonna turn on the light. I'm gonna turn the light to yellow, and we're gonna see how the yellow light looks like in the video. So here's the yellow light. It's pretty yellow. The camera actually automatically corrects the light, so now it looks white, but it's yellowish compared to the light previously. And this is the half of the brightness. Only half of the light lights up. So this is what it looks like. It still covers the entire area in the back all the way. So I would say like even half brightness, it's really bright already. So I'm gonna turn off the light and I'm gonna turn on the white light for you guys to see. All right, and now I'm gonna turn on the white light. So this is a 5K daylight white light. Let's turn it on. So you can see instantly it's very white, very bright as well. The difference between the 3K light and the 5K light is pretty significant. And keep in mind, this is only half the brightness, and my video camera can like record everything and see everything really nicely all the way up to the wall over there. So really good illumination, really good wide area coverage, and this is just a really good light to have. So and this I will conclude my video at this point. So I would say yes, I would highly recommend this light, even at half the brightness. This light is super powerful. Not to mention when you turn on to full brightness, it feels like daytime. I know they also have I think a few different varieties of the lights for sale with the 2000 lumen or like around I think 2300 lumen brightness setting. It's similar to this light, it's just a little bit smaller and more compact, and they also have this light in 2 different colors. So make sure you get a light to suit your need, but I would say in my opinion 2000 lumen is already good enough. So yeah, there you have it. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.